Hello, Pokemon fans. Welcome on in. I am the Fat Panda, and this is going to be another WPF Season 10 match analysis. Today, I am going to be looking at the playoff match between the Minnesota Lycanroc and the Boston Red Sox. The Lycanrocs, piloted by Unlucky, or on Showdown goes by Darth Hoodie, and the Boston Red Sox, piloted by Trico for Ubers, or Tricky Trico on Pokemon Showdown. Two strong coaches, much playoff experience, at least a couple championships as well between them. And this should absolutely be a good match. Let us hop right over to the teams and see what we're going to be cooking with here. Well, I could tell you that if I closed my eyes and tried to just in my mind draft a team that Unlucky would use, it's going to be something a lot like this. That is the most quintessential Unlucky team I've ever seen. He finally has the ability to go with a rain team he likes: Politoed, Kingdra, Toxicroak, all things I would fully expect to see, along with the popular rain supporters Scizor, Zapdos, Noivern, got Tapu Bulu and Volcarona as well. There's a Kecleon there, which has nothing to do with rain, but is once again something that I would expect to see on every single Unlucky team, and honestly will probably show up to all the playoff matches that he gets into, because why the hell not? On the other side, with the Boston Red Sox, we have a fairly untraditional looking team, would be what I would say. Lots of Mons there that are often the second choice, like not your obvious standouts. Charizard X doesn't get drafted a lot. Melmetal is hit or miss. Nihilego, Scolipede, Serena, some, unusual choices, but there is a collection of very strong Mons there. Very, very strong if used well and in a coach's hands like the Boston Red Sox. Should go over well. No surprise to see that it is in the playoffs. Now, looking at the matchup between the two, I see, let's see here. Honestly, it looks like a fairly even match. I would worry about the Lycanroc's answer to something like Moltres, but there is a lot of absolute firepower from things like Kingdra that the Boston Red Sox are going to have a hard time answering. In the rain, I'm not sure there is a single Mon on the Boston Red Sox team that wants to tangle with Kingdra. Not particularly. Mega Scizor also looks terribly threatening. Charizard, of course, is an obvious check. And honestly, something like defensive Charizard could be very strong, or maybe not even defensive, but bulky Charizard could be a very strong choice to help deal with Scizor, Volcarona, Toxicroak, stuff like that. Would be, risky, of course, to bring something like that against a rain team, but the Dragon typing does help a lot with staving off that water weakness. Yeah, Scizor does look like a huge threat. I would fully expect Charizard to be at least kind of defensive. There's really not a lot else here that is going to want to tangle with some sort of setup Scizor at all. He's going to be relying on, I don't even know, Burns or something to get past that menace. Serena seems like a good choice this match. If you ignore the fact that Volcarona exists, it can deal with, it can't deal with the top row, the pest Mons, but it's not bad against the rest, which I think is a good choice. And if Tapu Bulu comes, that boosted grass move damage could actually be a problem. I should have done some research off the ahead of time, but I don't think Serena learns any rock moves off the top of my head. But if it does get like Stone Edge or Rock Slide, it's going to be a definite threat in this match. Scolipede looks horrifying, honestly. I think Stabs plus Rock, if you can get rid of Scizor, can do a ton of damage on like a Sword Stance set. especially because with Speed Boost you can actually muscle your way past like Kingdra if it comes. Other than that, Araquanid looks pretty good as well. If the rain does come, which I would expect, those water boosted attacks from it would hurt a lot. I wouldn't expect it to be defensive because it can't really deal with Kingdra with the Hurricane, Zapdos with the Hurricane, Volcarona with the Hurricane. You know, you kind of get where I'm coming from. But an offensive one, if it comes in, it's like banded. There really aren't any switch-ins. Not even like a Bulu or Zapdos want to come in on those. All in all, this is actually a fairly even match. It's very interesting to see these two teams. I'm actually quite curious to see what ends up being the standout here. For the Boston Red Sox, I would expect to see that Charizard, maybe the Moltres to really be the big hitters. Araquanid maybe as well. On the Lycanroc side, Scissor looks horrifying. I think Kingdra looks horrifying. I would say Zapdos maybe as a third, but to be honest, it's unlucky, and he has a Kecleon on his team, so I'm just going to say Kecleon probably shows up and like gets 5 kills because I've seen it happen before. With all that being said, I think it's time to hop right on into the match, and we can see where we go from here. So, looking at the teams, there's a lot here that I would fairly expect to see. No Kingdra from the Lycanroc, which I think is a little surprising. Toxicroak coming instead. But honestly, if you just replace Toxicroak with like Kingdra, that right there is honestly a very, very strong team. I don't know about Toxicroak. I think it's awkward, but maybe he knows something that I don't, and we'll find out. Looking at the Boston Red Sox team, I see the heavy hitters I was thinking about. There's Charizard, there's Moltres, there's Araquanid. Serena has come, doesn't surprise me. Neoligo surprises me a lot, to be honest, with Scissor there, plus a lot of like strong water types and stuff. I'm actually a little surprised it came, but I guess it is a very good answer. It's like Volcarona, Zapdos to an extent, and Noivern to an extent. So it does answer some threats that Unlucky could have brought. Tapu Fini, strong, bulky water, no surprise it's here. I just didn't want to mention its name because, gosh, Tapu Fini gives me absolute PTSD. Now, as for the match itself, let's hop into it and see how it goes. Leads, I mean, a Politoed lead seems obvious. Noivern probably makes more sense. Zapdos, if it has Volt Switch, could Volt for free. I don't think I'd lead Scissor. I think if I was running Scissor, I'd be running it a cleanup roll. But I think Noivern is a strong option. It's the fastest thing in the game outside of Scarfers, which I think Neoligo could honestly be Scarfed here. That wouldn't surprise me. As far as the Boston opening goes, Fini, maybe. I would honestly expect Noivern to be the lead if I was going against this team, so I could see leading Fini and forcing it to U-turn out or go for like a Super Fang or something, but it would probably just leave because Moonblast's scary. If my Neoligo was Scarfed, I could see that being the lead here as well. There's really nothing on that opposing team that wants to lead against Neoligo except Scissor, and I wouldn't expect the Scissor. Araquanid as well, if you don't think it's going to be Noivern for some reason, could be a good lead. But then Zapdos could be a lead. I don't think I'd lead Araquanid. I think I'd probably lead Fini against Noivern here. And we've got the leads are going to be Kecleon and Moltres. So, you know, it turns out I have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. Kecleon is a good safe lead, though. I honestly don't know. I'd figure Assault Vest, but I don't know for sure. I have no idea. This Kecleon could be just about anything. I mean, I assume it's Salt Vest, but it might not be. Moltres, I would like to say, against this team, some sort of like bulky double dance would be strong. Yeah, actually, bulky double dance would be quite good. But we'll see. I honestly have no idea how this is going to go. I literally have no idea what's about to happen here. Fiery Wrath. Okay, that's a lot of damage. Probably not Assault Vest. Might be Rocks. In fact, it almost has to be Rocks. Yep. Rocks Kecleon with Leftovers, maybe? It is Leftovers. Yep. I mean, Moltres can just keep attacking here at this point. Toxicroak comes out. It's going to resist the hit. Takes 64 on a crit, though. That's bad. Slower as well. That crit means the Toxicroak probably goes down for free here, unless he thinks he has another swap in. But this Moltres is cooking with fire right now. It is Scarf? Wait, yeah, okay, naturally slower. It's either Scarf or that's the world's slowest Moltres. Not sure which. The fact that it took 40 from an unboosted Drain Punch, though, I think it might be Scarf. What is that? That was whack. I was not expecting that. That's a good chunk of damage on the Moltres. But yeah, Toxicroak has to leave. It's going to survive. Straight into Politoed, which is going to get chunked here probably by Fiery Wrath. Fiery Wrath has 16 PP, right? So yeah, there's plenty of time. And that was 4, yeah, so far. So it is actually burning through its Fiery Wrath PP pretty quick, but it's also essentially neutralized Toxicroak, chunked out half of, roughly half of Kecleon and Politoed. So that's very good. If there's a strong cleaner in the match like Scarf and Neoligo, that could already start to spell trouble here. Politoed is going to like protect, rest, something here. I'm actually maybe Ice Beam. Was he fearing the water move? I honestly would have just kept attacking with Moltres. I think Moltres was on a friggin' run, and I without knowing the Moltres set, I don't know for sure. But if it was like Nasty Plot or Agility, I would have done that there. To be honest, maybe not Agility, but I would have certainly Nasty Plotted there if it had it. I'm assuming it probably doesn't. But regardless, I think I would have kept attacking. That Politoed was never going to stay in. Worst case scenario, you Fire Wrath into it protects, in my opinion. There was already for sure not Scarf. If you really wanted to Ice Beam to take the Moltres, that's a pretty good trade because then Politoed's basically dead. He has no way to heal it outside of the Leftovers. So I would have probably taken that trade. Or here, he would have gotten Kecleon for free. So I think that was unfortunately a pretty bad play, a very bad switch there. But Serena, depending on the set here, could do some real damage. There's no Ghost on the other side, which means you get free high jump kicks. If that move even exists anymore, to be honest. I don't remember if it does. I think it does. I've been out of this game too long, but I'm pretty sure high jump kick still exists. I think jump kick is the one that's gone. Regardless, I'm pretty sure Serena can kick this Kecleon. Risky because it's Zapdos is a pretty obvious switch. But Rapid Spin also works to remove those hazards. And then this Kecleon makes itself a fighting type. Doesn't particularly matter one way or the other. But this guy's repeatedly tried to sacrifice Kecleon, it feels. And you just can't kill it. That was a lot of damage, though. 24. This is an interesting... I don't know if that's a really... Yeah, okay. Scissor on a Power Whip. Must not have a kicking move. I'm pretty sure kicking move would have still taken out the Kecleon there. And we got U-turn. So Rapid Spin, U-turn, power up. The last move I feel like has to be high jump kick. There's not really anything else for Serena. And if a friggin' Rapid Spin did 24, I'm pretty sure 65 is doable by high jump kick. And both moves would have sucked to go into a Zapdos anyway. But you could have really chunked the Scissor there. Right now, I feel like Lucky is actually just capitalizing on not very good play from the Boston Red Sox here. I think the Boston Red Sox should easily have had a kill or two at this point. Okay, a kill. Because if he'd taken out Toxicroak or specifically the Kecleon, if he'd managed to take out that Kecleon at any point, then it would just be a 1-kill game because they could have reset momentums. But right now, I feel like the Tricos are in a horrible spot because now he U-turns out. Probably to go against something that can maybe take on the Scissor. The Scissor is honestly probably just going to U-turn out himself and go to something a little bit more advantageous. Yeah, so now our Equinid's at half, and Noivern or Zapdos get to come in for free The rain thankfully is over because, at least for the Boston Red Sox, but discharge, that didn't do very much damage. That's either very defensive, ooh, that sucks, or, well, I was going to say, or Assault Vest Trench, or Equidit or something, but obviously it's not because it went for a Toxic on Zapdos and misses. And now those couple misplays are putting the Boston Red Sox in a horrible position. This little bit of bad luck here just absolutely spells disaster. Zapdos claims a kill here. If this Zapdos is Discharge Hurricane, literally nothing can come in here except Neoligo, and Neoligo does not want to get paralyzed. It doesn't want to get paralyzed at all, especially if it's Scarf though, so you have to sacrifice Araquanid here for probably nothing. He can't let more of his team get chunked here. Yeah, so he's gonna protect here, I guess probably eat up a discharge, maybe look for a misplay, and then yeah, sacrifice. There's nothing he can do. He got absolutely screwed by that Toxic miss, but even then he was putting himself in a bad position. So here comes Neoligo. I'm very curious to see what kind of damage does. 28, that's so weak. This is a very fat Kecleon, looks like Spadef because it was taking a lot of physical damage. But Fire Wrath did a lot, but it's stronger. But yeah, that does absolutely nothing, and Neoligo has to go. This is just looking truly terrible for the Boston Red Sox at this point. How can he get back from this position without just capitalizing on a horrible misplay? I'm honestly not sure. Like, right here, what does he have to do? Like, Rapid Spin makes sense, right? But it's awkward. If he's got High Jump Kick, he could go for High Jump Kick here and hope that Scissor comes in maybe instead of Zapdos. But there are two basically perfect like switch-ins to this guy. Zapdos seems incredibly obvious, and if you get the static, it wasn't let's see, it wasn't, yeah, it's not pressure, so yeah, it's static. Obviously it would be, but you never know for sure. It's like Rapid Spin is horribly risky, but Grass, like any of his other attacks are also bad, but he can't let Rocks stay up because Charizard doesn't have boots and Moltres might have boots. This is just horrible. What pulls this game back? Yeah, here comes the Scissor, which I was saying, well, if he's got a fighting move, he should probably just kick, because if Scissor comes in, it might be a 2-hit KO. We'll see what the attack was in the second, but I'm thinking to come back from this match, it has to be Calm Mind Feeny, right? It has to be like some sort of crazy Calm Mind, like Rest Feeny, with Water Move, probably Scald, and like Moonblast or Draining Kiss, right? Like, that's what has to happen here, I think. But even then, I think Kecleon might learn like Gunk Shot or something. Scissor, if it's like Swords Dance or Spadef like Curse or something, maybe can get past Feeny. Crit from Zapdos plus Paras from Zapdos could do it. Like Gunk Shot actually probably from Toxicroak as well. Like, it's just, there's some problems here, but I feel like Feeny is the way to get out of this. The other obvious way to get out of this, honestly, actually, is just Dragon Dance Charizard. If you can get rid of these rocks and get lucky with Zapdos, Dragon Dance Charizard might be able to pull this out at this point. Okay, so Rapid Spins, get rid of the rocks. Honestly, depending on this Scissor set, this isn't a horrible, horrible, horrible spot to be. Okay, it's a horrible spot to be. What, like at this point, Scissor is going to maybe rest, or not rest, roost, but more likely just U-turn out, because I'm fairly sure Serena also has to U-turn out. But I'm trying to figure out, because he's going to U-turn out. Like, if you sack Serena here, but he's going to go Politoed, which means that Charizard can't come in, right? So he goes Politoed. Maybe you go Calm Mind Feeny if that's what it is, and maybe you can start setting up there. Yeah, okay, he U-turns probably to nearly Charizard on the U-turn, and then here comes, so now Politoed is in. Okay, so what is this? Charizard has to be like, and it cannot make it. It's defensive. Okay, so it is a defensive set. That doesn't surprise me at all. It's about to get destroyed by this Politoed with a Whirlpool. That's really bad. Parasong? Is it Parasong? Yeah, it's Parasong. Is it Rest as well? Is it Rest as well? Show me the Rest. Protect as well. I know it has Protect, right? If the last move is a Rest, yeah, Special Charizard too. I'm gonna have to look at the teams again after this at some point. I don't know why you picked Special over Physical here. Oh, Rest, right? It's got to be Rest. Rest? Scald. Okay, it just goes for an offensive move to make it not a complete waste if, I guess, the Whirlpool strategy doesn't work. I like how the rain's gone. See, okay, this is actually not okay. Well, I don't. The fact that Neoligo came in here makes me think one of two things. Well, it makes me think that Feeney is not Calm Mind. Because if it was, oh no, if it was Calm Mind, but can he throw away Politoed here? Like, if it was Feeney or Neoligo, can he throw away Politoed? No, he probably. See, I would have gone Neoligo and just attacked. I would have just attacked. I think he would have. Like, I don't think he could. I don't know. This is a really, without knowing the teams, like what's being run here for sure, especially this Feeney that's being kept in the back. It's hard to say. Like, okay, could Calm Mind Feeney have come in there and dealt with it? You'd have to attack straight up because you cannot afford to let this Politoed get going against you, right? You can't afford to get specifically Perish Song. Or could you afford to get Perish Song? Like, Calm Mind once, see what it does, and then attack. And if it Perish Songs that first turn, just switch immediately because you're not trapped. Yeah. So I'm thinking it's not Calm Mind Feeney. It's probably something else. Maybe I honestly have no idea what it could be at this point. I feel like it would have come in already if it was Scarf or Specs or like. Is it his Defogger? No, he's got Serena for Rapid Spin. We've seen that a couple times already. I don't know what this Feeney is. Maybe he's just really scared. I don't know. But okay, Neoligo comes in. It's gonna probably get a kill here on the Toxicroak would be my assumption. Or the Kecleon. I was like, one of these things is, something is dying here. And it's gonna be the Kecleon. Now I think, no, the first power gem to 28, so 28. Oh my god, it survived. He is getting absolutely screwed by RNG here. You know, he may have put himself on the back foot, I believe, a little bit earlier, but that Miss Toxic, that horrible power gem roll, I mean, that's just him getting absolutely screwed, which is putting this match in even a worse spot. Oh god, he's gonna recover too much health, and now he resists power gems, so Neolio has to leave. Oh, it's not Scarf. Wait, it's not Scarf, and he was going for power gem first, and Sludge Wave's so much stronger. Oh, he did that to himself. There was no reason not to go for Sludge Wave the second time. No reason. He was putting Kecleon in to sacrifice it. No reason to go for Sludge Wave, especially when the power gem showed that it could kill. So okay, I honestly have a little bit more of a this is not as big of a problem because he did it to himself. He should have just Sludge Wave. Does take out the Kecleon though, but at this point, this is looking real bad. Like real bad. Scissor can come in here. Yeah, it's just gonna bullet punch. He had to. I mean, this play was obvious, but the Red Sox had to attack. They had to attack. They're so far behind that they had to pray that he was gonna get greedy and Sword Stance or Curse or something or U-turn. You know, he needed them to misplay. It was obviously not gonna happen, but that was what had to happen for the Boston Red Sox, I think, to get back into this match. Unfortunately, Neoligo goes down. Scissor looks like he could probably clean this up on his own, depending on this Moltres set. He's not going to risk it, though. Just go Politoed. We've got Fiery Wrath. Yep. So yeah, Darth Odie, he's not playing. It's playoffs. Differential doesn't matter. You just have to win. So he's making sure everything goes perfectly here. He's going to go to Zapdos. He's going to start discharging. It is a fast Zapdos or a really slow Moltres. I don't know which yet. But at this point, it is over, especially if this thing has Hurricane, which I bet it does at this point. Yeah, it's just going to clean up the rest of the match. I'm really sad to see. I have no idea what this Feeny was. There were several times where I think certain Feenies could have come in and wreaked havoc. But, okay, so it's not Scarf. It's Walk-On Berry. It's Calm Mind. It was Calm Mind. There were so many times you could have brought this in depending on the set and done something with it. Oh, no. Come on, one more time. Is it Draining Kiss? Does he have a chance? Does he have a chance? He has a chance if it's Draining Kiss or Rest. Oh, he can't rest, though, because Misty Terrain, and that doesn't matter. The charge does it anyway. I figured it probably would, but you never know. Yeah, that's rough. Oh, that was pretty brutal. The Moltres had such momentum earlier. This right here was turn 5. Turn 5, I think, was the turn where it all kind of went to hell. Moltres has got momentum. He cannot let Politoed stay in. He cannot sacrifice Politoed that early. You just start fire. You just keep Fire Wrathing, keep slamming away at it. Fire Wrath did 42% to Kecleon, right? Without a crit? Yeah. 42%. It was at 64. It came in. It would have died. If it was dead, Neoligo starts wreaking havoc even faster. Or, any other things could happen. Rocks would have been gone after one other rep. It's been later. Toxic Miss absolutely sucked. I'm not 100% sure it mattered. Let me just go to the last turn. Because Zapdos never got hurt. So even if... I don't know how he could have played much difference if the Toxic had hit. I don't know how he could have played much different if the Toxic had hit. Because, it hits, he loses 6%, protects, it loses 12%. He still has to sacrifice Araquanid. And then, did Zapdos even come back out? Because he always went Scissor on Serena. And I think, yeah, then Zapdos comes out at the very end and cleans. But at that point, it didn't matter. It would have lost 18. This is, another 8. A little bit more. Maybe here at the very end that Toxic could have been enough. I think this is probably Scarf Gunk Shot, which means or Poison Jab. I don't think that the Feeny could have recovered it fast enough to survive that. And of course, we have no idea what the Noivern set was, and not really sure what the Scissor set is. So I don't think the Toxic Miss mattered as much as we think. And that Power Gem roll was unfortunate, but he should have Sludge Wave there. There was no reason not to. But Lucky played this. He found the mistakes and he exploited them. I guess that's what I would say, because I think there were times where the Boston Red Sox had the upper hand, but made strange plays and put themselves in a losing position, I guess I would say. I think it could have been it could have been a turn 5 or 6, 5-on-6, and then I think, especially considering the Politoed set, you get one kill with that and then it's gone. And Rain is probably gone. Scissor, I'm not sure what this was yet. U-turn suggests not Curse, but I don't know for sure. Offensive probably Zapdos. I don't know. I don't know. I still think, looking at the teams, I think the Boston Red Sox should have won that match, and I think they misplayed quite badly early. It put themselves in a big hole and then couldn't climb out of it. But that's not to take anything away. I believe Unlucky played exactly how he had to. He did the right sacks. He got Charizard out of the game for free, essentially. That was incredible. Made the right calls against Nihilego. Made the right call against Araquanid. Made the right call against Tapu Fini. So when it mattered, he made the right choices. And that'll wrap up that match right there. With that, we have 3 out of the 4 matches checked out, and there is simply the Wooloo Wooloos and the Supa Hoopa left. We will check them out in the next video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and if you did, I hope to see you in the next video. This is the Fat Panda signing out, and I will see you guys next time.